Big up everyone that's come from Alice's stream or just to the stream. Please, first, smash the like button. Yeah, do your chores, do your jobs. That might have to be the new saying, but yeah, appreciate for all the likes of people that watch it back. If you're new, subscribe. If you like the content, please do subscribe. But yeah, I think there's a little bit to talk about today as well. But before we do talk about certain subjects, obviously joined by Mr. J down below, and if you don't know him now, you know. And obviously, to my right, technically to my left, you guys right. It's Tyrone. There's me having to check my leg just in case.
I love that. I mean, yeah, now pick up everyone, man. Back another day. Prem League back midweek. I like midweek Prem. But yeah, big up Jay for coming through as well. Obviously, regular on the Tuesdays now, so big up for showing up.
I'm broken through now. Like, do you know what I mean? I got my squad development minute.
Yeah, that's it. You're in the squad now. That's it.
They said, you know what? He's got a little bit more than Makeda. Let's bring him back next year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it. No, do you know what? Do you remember? Yeah, gee, I don't know if you're probably about my age. Do you remember Newcastle back in the day? I know Castle. Do you remember Olivier Bernard, the left back?
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling you. calling you Olivier. That's what you're reminding me of. You know,
Olivier Bernard was turning up while Laurent Robert was scoring 35 yards.
Yeah,
my club on the weekly.
That's what you reminded me of when I first saw you. You know, I just thought of the hair. I thought Olivier Bernard. You know.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like the stream, people. Big up everyone anyway. Love
You're making me think of that Newcastle. You know, Solano, what a player, man.
Yeah, the Solano Roberts. Do you know what I mean? Bernard.
Crazy. But yeah, man, look, today we're going to be talking about obviously Rashford's disciplinary views, obviously on Alice's stream. Obviously, you might know what I'm going to say already, but you might not know what these boys are going to say about it. And Ches is going to be joining us. Rom should be joining us as well in due time when they're ready. If not, it doesn't matter. We still got three musketeers here. And then we're going to be talking about Arsenal. They play tonight, as well as Aston Villa and Newcastle, who we deserve to talk both about as well. I think that's a big game. I think if not the biggest game today. And funny enough, we talk about Eddie Howe. We can talk about even Unai Emery. I think they deserve some spotlight as well. And obviously Antonio Nusa, failing the medical for Brentford, which, might spark some reasons why Spurs didn't end up signing him. So we can talk a little bit around that and plenty of other little different bits and bobs as well. And I think there'll be interesting topics for you guys to listen to. But yeah, man, Declan Rice is fit tonight. If you're an Arsenal fan, he will be playing. Gabriel is still unknown, but it looks like I think he's included in the traveling squad.
I know, man. I need him though. I need him.
Like he didn't give an update yesterday, which kind of sparks good news about it. If anything, otherwise he would have said he would be sidelined.
Yeah, do you know what? How I look at it is that if you are not going to play and you're not fit, you're out. So they would just say, look, he's not playing tomorrow. The fact that it's late fitness tests and stuff like that, I think that he'll play. I think he'll also be needed. I think when you look at Nottingham Forest, they don't play amazing football, but they're a physical team. I know Nia Kia's obviously was with Senegal at the AFCON, but when you look at Willy Bowley, you look at like Yates and the sort of player Chris Wood, they're a physical outfit, and I think Gabriel will be very, very good for them. Something's happened, isn't it?
No, so I was just because I was just listening.
His Pokemon, innit?
No, I wasn't playing my Pokemon. I was listening to what you were saying, and I was like, first of all, I didn't realize Arsenal were away.
Yes,
they're away. So I was like, who they playing? I was like, Forest. Okay. Yeah. Forest have been a bit better. I was like, a 1 year. I was like, I wonder how long it's going to be until he's back, because he's been gone for a while. Just Googled it. Back tonight.
No way.
Yeah, 1 year's back tonight. Elanga's back tonight. So I was like, ooh, that's how I was like, okay. Yeah.
Well, if we want to go off stats.
Cass would be happy. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Why would I be happy?
You like Teo when you're in it.
Yeah, I would take him at Man United all day long.
Yeah, I'd take him at Tottenham. He's a good player.
He's an animal. But you know what? People need context is key. Yeah, in this, whether they're away or not. Forest have the 18th best home record.
Nah, it can't be that low. I looked yesterday. It's like 12th.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say.
Oh wait, sorry. I'm sorry. In I think in the last 6 games or something like that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm only going off. It's no
The
point.
thing,
Only a small scale.
what I would say is that if you look at the games that Arsenal have had to play recently this season, they're playing against low blocks. Nuno Espirito Santo. He's got a dirty low block for us, guys. Don't worry about that. And obviously with people like Gibbs White and
Elanga on the break,
like matchups make games. This is a good matchup for Forest. Yeah, they're not expected to have a lot of the ball. They've got good threat in wide areas. They can try and hit Arsenal on the counter. They've been much improved since Nuno came in. They've got a couple of players returning tonight. I still think Arsenal are going to win the game, but it's set up for a difficult night for Arsenal.
Yeah, it is.
It's set up for a long evening.
If they don't score early, I feel like Nottingham Forest's crowd will get behind them. Like Jay said, midweek under the lights, and styles make fights. And when I look at it, last year Arsenal were going for the title, and I'm sure that Forest beat him in that crunch period 1-0. Forest beat them last year at Forest. So, yeah, they did. Yeah, they beat them 1-0. That's when Arsenal went on a little bit of a slide.
And they beat Arsenal the year before in the cup.
And the year before that. So, like, psychologically, they know that they can beat Arsenal at home. It's not going to be an easy place to go. I think they're going to be up for it. I think the boost of Belanga on one year is a big plus for Nottingham Forest, just because stylistically, they're going to play on transition. They're going to play on the break. Zinchenko up against Elanga is going to give me the same vibes as when Elanga went to St. James's Park 4 weeks ago, when Chris Wood got a hat-trick. Elanga was cooking Dan Burn down that left-hand side. And Zinchenko, in terms of the pace, gives me sort of that same type of feel. So I feel like Elanga could be a threat. Yeah, like Mervyn said in the comments. But then again, I don't want to just not praise Arsenal. I've got to be real and also say that if Arsenal come and do what
Arsenal come correct, they should wipe.
They scored 5 against Palace.
Correct, it should be irrelevant what not.
Exactly. They scored 5 against Palace. People moan about the attack before the break, and then they've come back, beat Palace. Now they need to continue that run. Declan Rice is declared fit. Gabriel probably will play because it's a physical game, I bet. And, if Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, who's now scored a couple, Jesus can be on form, then quality for quality, Arsenal should be winning this game. But this is it. This is the thing about football. This is not the type of game which is just a gimme. So, yeah, Cass, I don't know, man. It's Arsenal should be winning, but it wouldn't surprise me if Forest got a result.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I think Arsenal will just have too much for Forest, in my opinion. Forest look a bit lackluster when it comes to forward play. I don't believe in it. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe. I can believe. Is Awani going to even be fit enough to start play for a full night?
He won't start. Chris Wood deserves to start as well. Let's be real.
Exactly. That might have to be their saving grace. Is a Chris Wood back post header or something like that. And that's where I think That's where I think Arsenal actually thrive upon is when it comes to headers. Obviously, we can always result back to that Newcastle type situation. But when it actually comes to aerial threats, Arsenal are cleanup merchants. That's the reality. They have typically Ben White, there, and then Saliba and Gabriel, typically anyway.
And Declan. Yeah.
So that's going to be difficult for Forest to get even that. Doesn't mean they can't score a set piece. Look, when it comes to set pieces, I think Arsenal are very good at scoring set pieces as well. That's where I think Forest's weakness lies. They're so weak on corners. Don't believe in their centre-back duo. You think I just think Arsenal are going to have too much for them.
They've got a centre-back back tonight, though, to be fair. That Felipe is back.
Yeah, the question is for them is more for, I think, on Arsenal fans' lips are pretty much going to be who's going to be starting. That's the question.
Yeah, it's the Trossard or Martinelli, because Martinelli comes on and scores, but Trossard was part of a team that won 5-0 and he scored himself. What would you, man, do?
Personally, I think for me, I think you missed the window. Like, it's almost like you get certain windows for players when players are in form, and you should take those windows. I think Martinelli's scored 2 goals now, and now he's feeling good, and he'll probably think he should.
But Trossard scored.
Yeah, but it's also by the same token, when Trossard was playing, you saw when Liverpool brought Jota into the team and how he helped the team. When Arsenal had a similar period of time and they kept playing Martinelli through that, when maybe they should have been giving Trossard more game time in that left wing position. I think right now it's Martinelli's shirt again, because Martinelli's the starter and he's the one who's now picked up a little bit of form. But from my point of view, I think Arsenal they talk a lot about having a squad, but they don't really rotate the squad that much. I don't really think Arteta rotates in a fantastic manner when he has all the players available.
He did last time though against Palace. He brought on Smith Rowe for about half an hour. You know,
I personally think Palace are pound for pound the worst Premier League team currently, as in they are the worst team in the Premier League at the moment. So I don't even know how much stock I can put into that Arsenal victory, because yes, they played well, but that was a team with, that was a very poor Palace side, and you can only beat what's in front of you. So I'm not going to try and take it away from them. Very set piece heavy as well in that game to get the breakthroughs. So again, obviously the game opens up once they've got the breakthrough, but they were still needed to get that breakthrough, and set piece FC at it again. I hope the referees have been watching the Premier League Twitter feed, seeing these basketball type shields that Arsenal are running at the moment. I hope the Premier League is sensitized to those. But no, it's good that Arsenal have got these techniques and styles. I do call them set piece FC. I think they need to do a lot more from open play. But yeah, I think.
Imagine this though. Yeah. So Nottingham Forest are missing Ola Aina, who's having pretty much, in my opinion,
he's very good.
He might be right back of the AFCON, of this AFCON team of the season. Sangare, who's finding his feet, even he's over there. Serge Aurier is going through. I don't know how Ivory Coast won, but they got through as well. And then obviously Willy Bolly as well. So they're missing quite key.
They're missing quite a few.
Players.
Yeah,
there's key players.
Yeah, about two, 3 starters there. Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3 starters, 100%.
I would say all of them are starters.
I'd say, because Aina and Aurier kind of play the same position.
I'm
almost like I don't want to double dip them.
Yeah, Ola Aina definitely. Yeah. He's been very good actually. And I think in games like this, when you've got like 1v1 players like the Martinelli, Trossard, or Saka's out wide, Ola Aina is one of them players that gives me confidence that he can lock one of them up, because he's aggressive, he's quick. He doesn't let wingers really get the better of him, and that's why I do like Ola Aina. I am going to disagree with Jay though. I am going to start Trossard tonight. Respectfully, I feel like Trossard obviously was part of that team that was free falling like before Martinelli came on, and I feel like tonight is a game where Arsenal are going to have quite a lot of the ball, and I feel like Trossard is more technically more better at picking up little pockets and positions when teams have more of the ball, and I feel like if the game does become sort of 1-1, a bit helter-skelter from the 70th minute onwards, a player like Martinelli to bring on to impact the game against tired legs could be the perfect way to go. It doesn't mean that I think Trossard should be starting every game for Arsenal, because I agree with you that Martinelli is the natural starter, but I feel like because he got a game last time, got a goal, part of a team that won 5-0 starting the game, I feel like if you're going to have more of the ball, start Trossard, and then Martinelli can be that pace impact you can bring on against them tired legs of Forest. So tonight, I'm going to go with Trossard if I'm Arteta.
Yeah, you know what? This fixture is important. It's super important, right? Because you got Newcastle playing Aston Villa, yeah? And I don't know, obviously, we're probably going to put the favourites towards Aston Villa, considering that at home. You got Brentford that play Tottenham. Brentford might cause an upset now. They got Tony back as well. It might be a different type of tactic that they can put across. And if we're going to put them two, and then Liverpool's got Chelsea, they typically draw. If we talk about title race, all of a sudden, we're having another conversation. This is how quick things can change. And this is why I was like, when I got told I'm twerking for Arsenal and saying a statement and stuff like that, mate, this is how quick things can change. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal's got Liverpool on the weekend. At home.
It's huge for Arsenal. Because they beat Liverpool and then they beat Forest.
If that's the case, they go above Liverpool. So what kind of conversation are we having then? This whole, I'm not trusting Arsenal to do this and that. I'm not really putting Arsenal in a title. But all of a sudden, you have to change your tune as quick as possible, because they've got through it. Nottingham Forest, it was only yesterday where Ty was talking about how good Forest have been at home. It's the same way where we were talking about how good Bournemouth have been. And when Liverpool beat them, we were praising them about Liverpool. So when Arsenal go to Nottingham Forest, we've been good at home, Nuno Espirito, whatever his name is, yeah. And he beat them when they do beat them, because I think they are going to beat them. Then what's going to be the actual narrative today?
Yeah, I think what you said is a good point. I think it's the follow-up. I think it's if they beat Forest away and then they go to the Emirates on Sunday and beat Liverpool as well. Because like you said, there's no guarantee. Liverpool on paper should be beating Chelsea. However, if Liverpool don't beat Chelsea and then don't beat Arsenal away, that's a poor week for Liverpool. That could mean dropping 6 points,
yeah.
could mean dropping 4 points. So for Arsenal as well, on the reverse psychology, they're the chasers right now. So if they beat Forest and then go into that game against Liverpool on Sunday and beat them, that's a huge week. So you are right. There could be a swing. Yeah, this
there's
week
there's a 5-point gap, and
then you've got Man City chilling, who have got Burnley and Brentford.
Hey, Brentford.
You might as well give them 6 points now.
I don't know, Brentford. You know what? I don't know if I believe in Brentford this year.
Nah, not this time. Not with no Mbeumo. No,
not when you got Erling Haaland. For that game, Erling Haaland will have much more minutes as well.
Exactly.
KDB fit as a fiddle. I don't know. Man City, what an anomaly, man. Getting on nerves. But yeah, man. Look, you have to give credit when credit's due, as much as you might hate the fan base and stuff like that. That's why I've been quite nice recently, is because my team's been absolutely garbage. So I've got no choice. 'Cause I'm in the mud. So on that note, with Arsenal and beating Forest, I would like to see that people can give praise the same way they've been giving praise to other teams.
I think you make a good point. I think the problem is sometimes you need Arsenal fans to come back like a boomerang. We need you to come back to us so we can actually praise you, because you've run down the road with wanting us to praise you, and it's almost like, okay, now we'll praise you organically, but it's one of those things where it's difficult to praise somebody who's already. And this is the thing that I normally talk about with Spurs as well, is that I don't like to praise Spurs players too much, because the expectation that comes with that is a lot, and you should be ready to own that expectation. So I think whilst Arsenal should be praised for the team they are and what they're doing, on the flip side, they finished second, they spent big money. We're judging them from the lens of title challenger. The same criticism that City get. Oh, City don't look the same. City aren't looking like this and that. We're talking about City from the lens of them being the best team in Europe. That's the criticism that they're getting. Do you see what I mean? When we're saying they don't look good, it's from a lens of, oh, they're this good. It's not from a lens of, oh, from a Brentford POV. Do you know what I mean? And then thinking that, so that's another thing as well.
They don't beat them. I mean, look, the thing is, if they don't beat Forest, on the flip side of things, then I think criticism is going to be flying high.
Oh, it's because you have to look at it as well. I know they've not got a huge amount of, but Arsenal away is interesting to me, because I look at it like Kaz, and I'm sure you can tell me some stats here, but who is the highest ranked team in the Premier League that Arsenal have beaten away?
At this moment of time, no one, I don't think. The highest would be, oh my god, right now as it stands, they didn't play. They didn't even play. Have they even played Brighton away?
No.
Oh my god. So they didn't play the Villa away.
No.
Have they? No, they did. I think Villa beat them.
They lost. They lost to Villa away.
It was not Man City. It was Newcastle away. Not Liverpool, not Tottenham, not West Ham. They ain't played them there. Brighton, I don't think they played them there. Man United played us. Chelsea, they drew. Newcastle, they lost. Wolverhampton, did they play them? I think it might be.
I don't think they played.
Fulham or Brentford, maybe.
Brentford, I think they beat. I think they beat Brentford.
He just put a spanner in the works. He just said,
that's what I'm trying to say. They lost to Fulham as well.
What did he say?
When they haven't when it comes to Arsenal, when it comes to away games, who's the all the positions on the table currently, the best away team, or the best team that they've gone to away, who have they beat this season at the moment?
That's the thing that I've always been watching. Like,
wait, because they lost to Fulham. Yeah, I remember that.
Lost to Fulham. They lost to Villa. They lost to Newcastle. They didn't beat Chelsea. Like, I'm not trying to like crap on them. I'm just saying that I'm yet to be fully convinced about Arsenal going away to good teams.
Yeah, Raj, you know what? I'm sorry, he's caught me there, Cass. I can't even think. I'm checking the results quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm literally having a little look myself. And I was thinking, they played Brighton at home, they played West Ham at home, they played Luton Town away, and they just about beat them. Obviously, they lost to Aston Villa. They lost to Newcastle away.
They beat Everton and Bournemouth away.
Technically, they did lose to West Ham in the EFL.
Okay, their biggest away win, I would say, is Brentford 1-0.
But that was an
and that was a late goal.
Oh, Bournemouth.
Yeah, the 90th minute goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bournemouth. It might be Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth.
So what I'm trying to say is you
good point, Jay.
You
Wow.
can make the case that they haven't had the opportunity to play certain teams away, and that obviously like the table will play out. And I'm not trying to say, because the absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence. Just because I don't have proof that Arsenal are winning these games away, that's not proof that they would lose these games away if they had the opportunity to play them. It's more me just saying, well, Nottingham Forest away, last minute goal to beat Luton, last minute goal to beat Brentford, not beating those other 4 or 5 games that we just referenced. So when people talk about Arsenal going to Nottingham Forest and definitively winning, where does this confidence come from? Really, truly.
Maybe it's the quality. It's true. Sleazer McMuffin said, but they haven't even played them yet. So how can we convince them they haven't even
But they played Villa, they played Newcastle.
You're going off data that they've played a lot of these middle to average teams and they haven't got results.
Teams away, and I'm saying they have one game. So how you win is irrelevant. But they still needed 90th minute goals to beat Luton.
And what you're saying is they can still go there. And Jay's not saying they can't win.
They can still go there and smash.
He's saying they can win, but he's saying where's the confidence coming from? That it's just like, they've won. I get it. Yeah. I'm not saying that, and that football bounces. I'm not saying that we're saying there's Arsenal fans out there that are confident, but I guarantee there's some out there that are not on this stream that would be saying that they're confident that they go and beat Forest, especially after beating Palace 5-0. You get the typical, we're back, the front three's clicking, of course.
Forest is a hard game that fits into the narrative of Arsenal, not struggling, but having difficult. Luton, noisy stadium, bouncing crowd. Brentford, noisy stadium, bounce. Forest are better than Brentford in this current period in time. You know, the matchup as well, like how Arsenal play, who like low block, mid-low block, aggressive counter-attack. You know, people like Zinchenko and White versus people like Alanga, Gibbs White. There's something there for Forest to get tonight. Like I can see it. Arsenal probably win, but I can see how they could potentially drop points tonight.
Might get the wood.
Yeah, they might get the wood.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, make sure you're smashing the like button. Just a little reminder, if you don't mind. Obviously trying to provide content through the week, and I know it's dry, and we're waiting for results and stuff like that. But even if you are watching this back, please smash the like button if you haven't done so yet. There's a lot of you that haven't done it, so if you don't mind. But yeah, look, even moving on from the Arsenal stuff as well, whether you think it's a win, loss, or draw, we'll find out tonight. It's a bit of an earlier kickoff. I think 7:45. You know, talking of light work, Rashford's disciplinary, light, super light, and there's a lot of theory behind it that you can provide. Whether it's Ten Hag being weak, it might have been a club that dealt with it and it was done swiftly, or is it simply Rashford just needs to go and he's just disrespected it for the last time? I don't know how you boys look at it. Obviously, I ain't spoke to you about it, but for me, I think this is where you need this special treatment needs to stop. Like this Rashford special treatment needs to stop, because if there's any other player that wasn't English, or a Mancunian at this rate, gone. Absolute media would have had a field day with it. I think his PR's failing a little bit. Rio Ferdinand's turning on him slightly as well. You know, even the newspapers are slightly turning on him as well, like the Sun with their headlines and stuff like that. I think this is done. This is dusted. For me, it's a final straw. Like we could scream mental health, we could scream on Rashford.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this because the thing is, to me, I look at Rashford and I don't know how United fans see him, but I see a very, very, very good player. Like I said, I know other people might have different gradients on where they think he is. I think if you gave me Rashford or Leao, I'd take Rashford. Like I genuinely would. I think Prem proved
they're basically the same player. Anyways,
if Spurs had the opportunity to drop 80 million on Rashford next summer, and United would take it, that would be my number one wing target. Because when United fans talk about someone like Rashford, I almost think to myself, okay, you can talk about a player in isolation, or you can talk about a player in comparison with the rest of the market. So if we're going to talk about the player in comparison with the rest of the market, then you have to say that he is one of the best left wingers in the world. Yeah, that to me is just a statement of fact. Form will go like this, but he is pound for pound one of the best left wingers in the world. You can talk about your Mittomas and stuff like that, but Rashford clears them. Yeah, I put him just a little bit underneath like a Son Heung-min, that kind of level. So I'm not trying to say that you should give these kind of players like just the room to do whatever they want. But I'm also saying that please do not think that Marcus Rashford's grow on trees, because they don't. They genuinely don't. Yeah, he's a player that's fucking up at the moment. Yeah, and he's obviously a player that's maybe not delivering to the level that United fans want him to deliver to. But I also, as a Spurs fan, remember seeing last season Tottenham fans talking spicy about Son. And I said vocally many times, there's a lot of fans that when he turns the corner on his form, who are going to pretend that they've always been there and they're already shouting for him. But you have to understand that quality is quality. And sometimes these players will drop off in form for whatever reason, stuff going on off the pitch, managers' tactics, things like that. But they are high quality players. And you shouldn't forget that in these moments of form when they dropped off a little bit.
Yeah. Nah, man. Rashford don't grow on trees. Whatever. Not trying to hear that.
Like you guys will say that, but okay. So let me give me this, right? Give me 3 left wingers. Obviously, you've got like your Vinicius's, yeah. I'm take away your Vinnies and stuff. Give me 3 left wingers in world football.
Ones that are available.
Saying is better than him.
What that I would take, as in now?
Yeah, like they're definitively better than Rashford, like in your opinion.
Nico Williams, I think he's a better football player than him. Footballer. Yes, he ain't got the goals yet, but I believe way more in Nico Williams than this guy. I think Trossard's a better left winger than him. How about that? You know, I think Diogo Jota's going to be a better. Yes, he is. Diogo Jota as well is a better left winger than Marcus Rashford.
Jota's not better. Jota's not better.
Even if the striker left wing, there's levels to this. No, you got to think. Luis Diaz is a much better footballer than him.
He's not. Luis Diaz isn't better than Rashford.
This is why Liverpool are where. Yes, they are, bro. What?
Listen. My point is, please. You asked me a question. It's very easy to. It's very easy to judge.
You asked me the question.
Yeah, go on. All right. Fair enough.
Exactly. So let me keep doing this. Other than, all right, you know what? The better thing is as well, yeah, that we can even provide, yeah. Other than goals, yeah. Right. What does he provide? Cavashilia, better player than him. How about that? Okay. I'm telling you now, there's abundance of play. Pedro Neto is a better player than him, but he just gets injured.
No, these guys. The thing is,
when I look at it like this, yeah, I look at he's a net negative player. Negative. Man. Now, other than goals,
we need to take Rashford away from Man United, so you guys can see what the guy could.
Ask this question. Other than goals, yeah, and that's all he's got, in my opinion, is goals.
Yeah.
What does he give? Tell me, because
in terms of overall performance, he's just a very, very explosive winger. I find it difficult to almost say this after you guys after a 17 goal season last season. You know what I mean? Like a 17 goal season last season, and it's like, what does he give apart from that's like. I think Mitoma would sacrifice both his legs to give you a 17 goal season. I'm saying, listen, my point is that the problem is a lot of United fans and a lot of football fans are prisoners of the moment in terms of how you're judging Rashford. Fine, he's having a bad season. Yeah. Last season when he was dropping 17 goals. Yeah. Like it's to me, it's flabbergasted. It's like, I don't know what, like, look at his profile, look at the kind of player he is, look at what he can do, and then go and tell me how many players in world football can do that. Yeah, like how many players can do what he's doing? Okay, maybe you can say Nico Williams, maybe you can say Leao, yeah, but it's a short list of players that can do what Rashford can do. Genuinely, like, take emotion out of it. I know some of United fans are annoyed, but like, Elanga can't do what you had them both at the same club, and Elanga was nowhere near him. People can't just suddenly say, "Oh, Elanga's as good as Rashford." You literally had them together.
Elanga's not that good. Look, in my opinion, yeah, I don't know what you're gonna say, Ty, and chime in on whatever you want to say. Yeah,
I'm just listening to you at the moment.
Guy's only been here 10 years. He's gave us 2 good seasons. Yeah,
two good seasons. Yeah,
2 good seasons. When we talk about last season, the goals dried up in Feb. Then the performances started to be shown for what he really is. Yeah. Okay. That's the thing. The thing is, he's got the talent. Most players have the talent, but they don't nullify it or explode into what they should be. The guy is so inconsistent. He pisses me off. He's super,
Three
super,
of Rashford's last 5 seasons.
The thing is,
he's got over 20 GA in the Premier
League.
League.
But the thing is,
of the last 5 seasons.
Stop there, yeah, because GA doesn't define your team play. We're talking about how a team functions. The way Rashford plays, we get so much turnover that we end up conceding because of stuff like that. Him and Bruno, this is why I don't rate Bruno and Rashford. They're net negative players due to their turnovers and how they get the turnover. Ultimately, for me, they make the team worse. It's called a team game, not a GA game. Luis Diaz doesn't get the most GA in the world, and to be fair, he gets even dropped for Nunes and stuff like that. But guess what? They act as a team, and that's why they're a unit, and that's why they look solid and convincing. Yeah. Same with other. Jack Grealish doesn't get the GA, but guess what? They won a treble. They act as a team. They act as a unit. That's why they are where they are. Look at Arsenal of last season. One sec. Martinelli is a turnover merchant as well. Don't get me wrong, but you look at the team. Unit last season, they got better players. Don't get me wrong, and they're partying and blah blah blah. But they act as a unit, and they go. And guess what? Guess what? Gabriel Martinelli, when he loses the ball, he tracks back and he works it and makes sure he wins the ball. This is what I'm saying. It's so easy to see other teams that function as a team.
But Martinelli didn't have a better season than Rashford last season.
No,
and he's not having a better season than him this season.
Down to GA. Don't get me wrong.
No. But overall, like if watching both of those players play,
I'm not saying this.
Martinelli did not have a better season than Rashford. And Rashford's having a better season than him this season.
You said Luis Diaz is not a better player than Rashford. You say
Luis Diaz isn't better than Rashford.
Oh wait. But so why do they function better as a team? This is what I'm saying.
Better systems.
Oh, we're talking about individual now rather than a team. So as a team and better players, in my opinion, whether it's your opinion, if you think it's a better player.
No, it's fair enough. I'm not saying your opinion's wrong.
Individually, the 1 and 11, they make the team worse because they have to focus on that individual. He doesn't supply the striker and he's greedy and he doesn't track back. He doesn't do the basics well. He barely beats his man. Stop looking at GA and start looking at performance.
No, it's not about looking at GA is looking at output. That's what you look at. I'm looking at output. It's not always about output. But if you're not the same criticism.
I'm gonna come in a couple minutes.
The same criticism leveled at Anthony for no output. It's as in like at the highest level, we want output. That is what we want from our players. Yes, obviously, performance is very important. I'm not just a GA merchant, nor am I just a performance merchant. I like a mix of both. You want to praise Martinelli, but then criticize Rashford. Rashford has been better than Martinelli in the last 18 months. He has. Yeah. So you're praising somebody because you're using a different lens to judge Martinelli than you're using a lens to judge Rashford.
One sec. For one, I'm not saying Martinelli's a well beater. Yeah, I'm not saying he is. Yeah, but one, he's 5 years younger than him. Yeah, or 4, 5 or 4 years younger than him. 2, he in Premier League goals. Yeah, not Europa League goals. Premier League goals, I'm pretty sure they were very next to each other. So you want to look at output. But when we talk about performance, and it's not about GA, you have to also put eye test and obviously where it is. I see Martinelli beating more man than Rashford. I see Martinelli doing the basics as a footballer, right? By just doing a tracking back situation and pressing the guy for 90 minutes consistently, right? Last season. I'm just saying about Martinelli versus Rashford. The whole point is he's an individual. It's like Ronaldo. Yeah. Everyone wanted to praise Ronaldo. Say, but you got you 18 goals. But guess what? You affected team performance because you don't do better for the team. You don't work for the team. They work for you. So Rashford and Bruno's the same thing. Bruno tries to supply, but Rashford makes it worse. You can't have 2 negative players on the same pitch. You have to have one, and you have to build about one.
Listen, I hear the argument. My point is
how about this?
If you put Rashford, if you took Rashford to Arsenal, Rashford would start for Arsenal over Martinelli and Trossard.
And
there's a reason why Arsenal wanted to buy Mudryk last January. Yeah, there's a reason. Not because Martinelli's crap, but because the profile of Mudryk was specific, something they were looking for. Rashford's profile is quite unique in world football. Yeah, he doesn't grow on trees. And we can criticize his inconsistency in performance 100%. But I can also clearly look at, put him in a Man City, put him in an Arsenal, and you would see a number of the criticisms that you've got of him disappear. Because they're better structured sides.
But you know what you're doing with Jay, though.
That will hide more of his issues.
I hear what you're saying, but let Tiny's get his word in it. But you talk about
Yeah,
profile.
go.
You talk about profile. Profile's cute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good profiles on paper, but guess
Yeah.
what? Let's look at him for what he is right now and for what he has been for the last 10 years. Nearly enough. He's been here for nearly 10 years, and in one season, I think someone even said he's only got over 10 assists in one season. Look, it's mad. He had a good GA season last year, brilliant. But guess what? Your performances are now rubbed, and you're being found out. You're not as explosive as you used to be. You can't even pass a ball to save your life, and you're greedy. You don't track back, but it's in your nature. That's it. Let's look at the profile, but at the same time, let's look at him for what he is right now. Useless.
Yeah, sure, but it's like, I look at that profile. Yeah, go on, man.
You know what? That was interesting. I was just taking it back. Listen, I'm gonna land for a couple minutes. There's a few things I want to say. So basically, first of all, I think both of you are right in some ways. Yeah, I look at it. Rashford's season's been shit this year. He's been shit this year. Since the Carabao Cup, everyone's been shit at Man United, right? And Marcus Rashford's performances are never that great. I don't think Marcus Rashford's performances have been great the last few years, but he always gets output, like Jay's saying. However, where I will agree with Jay is that when people are coming on to Marcus Rashford, Man United's football as a whole has been shit. And we're talking from the goalkeeper up into the striker. So when we look at the whole team being shit and the patterns of play being shit, I know Bruno and Rashford annoy us. Bruno plays centrally. Rashford plays out wide. So he's not really involved in so much in the build-up so much. But when you look at all the players that have been flopping, Rashford's actually been the one shining out of the bad bunch because the whole team's been playing poor. So what Jay's saying is everyone's been crap, but Rashford's still the one delivering the output. That's put in a comment saying, you know, players get GA, teams win trophies. Well, I know Man United are not winning loads of trophies, but the main reason we won the Carabao Cup last year was because of Rashford. So players do help us win trophies like Marcus Rashford did. However, I will agree with Cass. His performances haven't been good enough. I've always questioned his body language because I think that he does walk around and slumber around the pitch. And at the end of the day, what I think it is that he's apologized. He's done something. I don't really know about the Sancho situation, but he's done something that Sancho hasn't done. That's apologized, owned up to it and said, yo, look, I'm in the wrong. How can we move on? I don't think it's right that Man United have put him back in for selection this Thursday. I think he should have had the game off on Thursday. It was Wolves last year when he overslept. This time it's going out partying before the Wolves game. I think to set a precedent and keep the balance in the squad is to say, yo, you can train, but you're not going to be involved and you'll be back in on Sunday. The fact that he's now involved in the squad because he's apologized and hold his hand up is like, that would rub me up. Because the only reason he's apologized is because he's been caught. If he wasn't caught and no one filmed him in Belfast, he wouldn't be saying anything. He would have just called in sick and he would have gone back to training. So it's only because he's got caught, he's apologized. And I like Marcus Rashford, but I've got to keep it 100. So that's how I'm looking at it, right? And then with Marcus Rashford as well, I think it is better for him to leave. It's not because I think Rashford's crap or I think he's amazing. I just think for both parties, at the end of the day, some things have run its course. He's been here 8 years, 9 years now. He's had 3 good seasons out of the 8. He's contributed with a lot of goals and assists, but performances haven't always matched that. He hasn't had that consistency. And I think Man United fell into a trap. They done what PSG done with Mbappe. Man United pinned all their hopes on Marcus Rashford. And I'm not saying it's Marcus Rashford's fault, but everyone thought Marcus Rashford is going to be the guy to get us back to the top or get us back competing. When he's not that player, he is not that type of player that will take a game by a scruff of a neck. And I'm talking Eden Hazard vibes, yeah, for Chelsea. He would just do something out of nothing and you're like, this guy's special. Marcus Rashford is part of a team. He'll contribute, he'll get goals, but he isn't going to control the game or grab it like a De Bruyne by the scruff of the neck. So for me, I feel like Rashford will always get output and he'll always deliver goals and assists, but his performances are not consistent and the body language I don't respect at the moment for him, whatever he's going through. So I just think he needs to move on and Man United need to move on and just both go our separate ways.
I agree, yeah. On the last part, like I see what Angel you're saying. So you call out Rashford when I was trying. Rashford earns 300k per week. Yeah,
who's this?
Angel in the comments.
Oh, the comments, cool.
Or Angel. You don't know how you're don't know how to say these days.
But yeah, that's what I think, Cass. I think they both need to go separate ways.
What about Garnacho? Anthony is piss poor, yeah. Anthony needs to get gone anyways. He's garbage, yeah. Garnacho is a teenager. Højlund gets no service whatsoever. You know, only out of all his goals, only 3 players have set him up, right? I'm not saying it's thingy, but when you're a prime time earner and you're literally the face of Man United, you're gonna get called out. You're 26, going on 27 years of age or whatever you may be.
Yeah. Right? This is the thing, right?
Bro,
let me just finish on a couple points. Let me just finish on a couple points. And
I want to finish one point because I'm going to be done anyways. Yeah. GA, why you can't look at GA. If your team performed, yeah, as a whole, imagine this is a pitch. yeah, or whatever, get more GA from the performance, and it spreads out more rather than looking at one individual to get you all your goals. Whether it's a system, not every system can hide every flaw. By the way, not every player can. You can only nullify it as much as possible, right? That's what I'm trying to say. GA don't mean shit when your team isn't performing, because every time it don't go through you, everyone else looks bad. So if your team performs, everyone else performances go higher and you raise the standard.
There's two things I want to add. One sec, Jay. There's two things I want to add, and this is the thing, right? He's 26. And when I look at Marcus Rashford, I'm like, can I see him getting any better? Do I think he's hit his ceiling at Man United? For him and Man United, I think they have. I don't see Marcus Rashford elevating his game again at Man United. I don't see the relationship getting way better. So that's why I think for him, he needs to go to a PSG, for example, and Man United need to move on respectfully. That's how I think on the situation. I think he's hit his ceiling. However, there's one thing I do want to make clear. A lot of Man United fans moan about Rashford this, Rashford that, Rashford this. This is before the situation of the drinking incident. In regards to what Jay said, I agree that people need to calm down a little bit, because there is a lot of other problems that Man United need to sort before getting rid of a Marcus Rashford. Yeah, cool. We can get rid of a Marcus Rashford in a year or two. But we need to sort out the defense. You need to sort out the midfield. You need to sort out the striker. Like, there is a lot of other problems before Rashford.
Yeah, we need two new wingers, and that's because
I just want to add one little thing on Rashford, is that, like, for me personally, and the way I look at people like Rashford, is that there's a level of responsibility that Rashford has. That they put the PSG team on him. The very few players at Man United have, and therefore he's judged at a different level to other Man United players, rightly, because he's paid more, and obviously he's no issues with that. But please, let's not pretend the lens that Rashford is in this time period that United have won trophies, made finals, finished second in the league, all of that. Marcus Rashford has been there delivering, and has been a primary reason in every one of those scenarios why United have done well. Whether or not you think you can laugh all you want. In all of those scenarios, in the final, Rashford was scoring. When you were making the Europa League final, Rashford was in the run. When you finished second in the league, Rashford was having a good season. Every time United have done well over the last few years, Rashford has done well. So you could argue Rashford needs to do more, but I could also argue on the flip side that he has great responsibility at Man United. Sometimes maybe he's not delivering it. But
I can't believe this.
Let's not like the way you're talking about Rashford is cheeky to me. I think it's cheeky the way you're talking about Rashford. As a rival fan who can take the emotion out of it, it's cheeky. He's way better than he's way better than you're giving him credit for.
Special treatment FC. The stat. If you call the last decade well for United, finish a measly second where he'd barely contributed anyways, or whatever. It was more like Marcel, like, if we're being really honest, like really and truly, If we're going to talk about a damn League Cup and a Europa League and an FA Cup, which is the FA Cup I'll rate, but that happened years ago now. And that was under a manager that would have developed him properly, That was years ago, Rashford. Europa League was years ago, Rashford. 2017, I believe. It's 2024. This meat riding is mad. The special treatment is mad.
There's absolutely no meat riding. I just know how to identify a good player without agenda. That's all it is. I know how to take the agenda and bias out.
If this period is called Man United doing well and that's okay for you, kudos to you. But when it comes to me and my standards, he does not hit that bar, and many other players don't hit that bar either. And I don't forget. I feel like it was only yesterday when I was watching Ronaldo. It was only yesterday when I thought I watched Lewis Nani.
You know what the big thing is, Cass, as well, though? I think
we called him inconsistent. We called him Lewis Nani inconsistent.
Do you know what? Like, how I look at it, right? If Marcus Rashford, like, I respect him and what he's done, Jay, but I also agree with Cass. This is what I'm saying. Both of you can be right. But if Marcus Rashford bro, if Marcus Rashford left in the summer because he was like, right, I want to go PSG, and I think they should rightfully go their separate ways for Rashford and United's way, and we got another winger in, like a Nico Williams or a Rafael Leao, for example, or a Kvaratskhelia, I don't think me and Cass would be sat here in 12 months from now saying, oh, we really miss Marcus Rashford. That's no disrespect to Rashford, by the way. I've seen enough of what he does, and I know he can bring the goals and the output. But I feel like if we've got a new coach, we've got another left winger in, I don't think Man United fans are going to scream, oh, we really miss him. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's not saying Marcus Rashford's crap, by the way. I just don't think we would.
I want you to
agree with that.
I want you to come in because as somebody who's bought a lot of wingers, he should be in a fantastic position to tell you how how the market is not what you think the market is.
Well, are you throwing things at me?
Not one winger that Chelsea have bought is
Bro,
better than Rashford.
relax.
Not one. Not one.
I don't know
They
why you
bought
brought this
6.
about Chelsea, bro.
Not one of them is better than Rashford.
I don't know how this has become about Chelsea. Anyway,
no, but I'm just saying you bought a lot of wingers. Not one of them is better than Rashford.
Yeah, Sterling is definitely better than Rashford, but continue.
100%.
He's not.
1,000,000% better than Rashford.
He's not better than.
That.
Oh, it's
Jay,
close. I'm not going to be like. I'm not saying it's close. He's not better than Rashford.
You're talking to a guy that's won Premier Leagues and everything, and yes, he's under the best coach. But guess what, Sterling? How about Sterling's 10 times the player he is? It's not hard to see. You know what?
Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go
on, Ches.
Yeah, literally, bro.
Jay, big up as well.
I love Ty. We love Jay because obviously he brings up the debate and he always has the other side of the coin, and he loves debate. We know you love debate, Jay, but let's be honest. Your point is standards in the mud, bro. Man said because he performed well throughout the seasons, it like kind of what you're trying to imply is it kind of gives him a bit of like leeway to make these errors. And you're not being irrational because you're quite a smart guy. You're not saying he gets a pass, but you're trying to imply that because he's performed at good moments, me and Kaz laughed at that because good moments ain't that good for Man United. The last 10 years, they have not had good moments. They haven't won the league. So him doing 15 goals here and there, that's his job. Like, what do you want him to do? Like, he shouldn't be at Man United if he's not scoring goals and getting assists. So now when he makes a mistake, we're not going to use that and go, yeah, because you've done this now, it kind of like gives you a blind. No, that's not how football works.
Because there's not many left wingers to Jay that there's better in world football right now.
Because there's not many comparative players, it means no, bro. At Chelsea, I'll say the same thing. Just because there's not that many world-class wingers in the league, it doesn't mean I'm going to stick with Mudryk for another 5 years and be like, you know what? I'll stick with him because he costs 60 million and there's no one to get. That's not how life works. You've got to improve somehow. And if he's not performing because he wants to turn up late and go partying with his gyal and all that stuff, that's on him. Like, that's on him.
But
no one's told him to do that.
But I get what you're saying. I just want to say, and I do like a debate, but I actually do believe in this point because the point I'm trying to make is, to me, Rashford is better than all of Chelsea's wingers. All of them.
What's it got to do with Chelsea, though? I don't get it.
So it's got to do with the fact of when you criticize a player, and you say he could give you more or he could be better. No, you're missing the point. I don't criticize people in isolation. Yeah. So if I'm going to say Rashford's not good enough, it has to be in comparison with what else is there in the market that is so much better than Rashford for me to say he's not good enough. I can criticize his performances, but for me to say that the player overall is not good enough or there's lots of players better than him,
I can't believe it's overlooking Sterling.
There isn't lots of players better than Marcus Rashford. There's
a few. Overlook Sterling like he's done nothing.
We're not about to.
12 months of Chelsea, we've got Sterling.
I'm not saying Sterling's nothing. I'm saying Sterling and Rashford over the last 5 years. No, Sterling and Rashford over the last 5 years have gone back and forth. There's been seasons that Sterling spun him. There's been seasons that Rashford, people were complaining about Sterling starting for England over Rashford. There's in the World Cup in 2022, people were wanting Rashford to start. Rashford was in glittering form going into the World Cup last season. Let's not rewrite history. Rashford was in great form and people wanted him to start.
And he was one of the best players at the Euros in the World Cup.
Yeah, at the time, look, I think form can continue, but when you talk about the way you treat the club, like the way he has, in over the last decade, and to be fair, that comes down to toxic behaviors at the club. It comes from the top and it filters down. That's the way it works. It's not even Rashford's fault. You know, if the standard of the club was actually at a good level and it continued to be a giant and everything, I'm pretty sure Rashford would be a world beater and pretty much the best left winger in the world, or one of them, right? Like, I hear it, but you disrespect the club. You get a light disciplinary. You might hold your hands up high. You're not performing. You barely had a few good seasons since you started your career at United anyways. I hear it. Like, he's been at the poor result of bad coaching as well, in my opinion. Bad Yes, he has qualities, but when we're talking about performance, as a United fan that watches him week in, week out, he's just as frustrating as anybody, as most people. That's fair. And for me, I don't think he's hungry anymore. I don't think he has the heart. I don't even know if he likes football at this moment of time. Maybe he's got issues. And that,
but all of this is valid criticism.
But the thing is, one sec, when you're at an elite club, it comes with elite criticism. You know, you come with an elite magnascope, and if you can't handle that, that means you got to go. And it's been a standard. Wayne Rooney nearly got sold in 2012.
Bro,
Ronaldo got sold and he was the best player in the world. And like we can go, Eden Hazard left no matter what. What happens is that why has he got such a massive screen around him to protect him? Like
and this is all valid criticism. My difference between me saying that I think Rashford is a quality player is different to all of the valid criticism.
No. I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying.
All the stuff you're saying is like
basically
it comes to a point where it's too much going on, and it's a sunk cost. You're not getting out what you should be getting from him. I agree with that, and United have to work out whether they want to.
And it's the thing is why get a Rasmus Højlund if you didn't want to suit Marcus Rashford's actual abilities as well? So right now, the way I look at it, I'm selling Rashford. I said it 6 months ago. I'll say it again. I'll sell him because 1, we need money. 2, we need to lower the wage fees anyways and all that kind of stuff. We need to sort loads out. 3, I don't think he actually wants to be here anymore. I'll be so told. I think getting out of Manchester probably be the best for him, but I can't speak for him. Only he knows that. And if he wants to turn it around, that's totally up to him. Prove me wrong. I'm a Man United fan. Go get me goals and win me games. Number 4, it's a bit like we need to get rid of losers. Man United need to get rid of the losers, the Luke Shaws of the world, the Lindelofs, the Maguires. Go get rid of the losers. Look what Tottenham did. They're getting rid of all their losers. Harry Kane was a loser. He still is a loser. The thing is, to get rid of loser mentality, you need to get rid of the losers that have been there since day one.
You're spitting,
in my case, get rid of them losers. Go rebuild with a new hungry core of players.
I can hear that. I can hear this argument.
So get rid of all these. Get rid of these losers. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, and I know Kane's world class, but he's got loser mentality, man. I'm sorry, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. That is fault for signing.
You're right.
He should have signed on for Spurs then. He should have moved on when he could have moved on and gone to get hungry. But now you're a Tottenham legend. Bless you, man. Like cheerio. You're out buying and you're still losing. Yeah, you ain't even won nothing. You're not even going to win nothing under Tuchel. That's mad. So, in my opinion, the way I'm looking at it is get rid of the losers. You're a part of that loser bunch. You've been a part of a bad decade, and I'm sorry you've been subject to it, but business is business.
I hear that.
The biggest asset to go and rebuild a squad the way we need to and develop it the way we need to, the way Tottenham are doing right now. Because they maybe not the way Chelsea are doing it, but they're developing a young squad right now. They got rid of a lot of losers. Even though they did win a Champions League, ultimately they didn't spur on to continue. They had to get rid of a lot of people.
On that,
Arsenal got rid of a lot of losers, and they still are losers. Don't get me wrong, but they try to build a young, hungry squad to compete. Do you think Pep Guardiola keeps any losers around in his team like Calvin Phillips, who wants to not be a professional like the way he needs to be at the standard of Manchester City?
This is a nice argument.
Yeah, but João Cancelo,
this is the argument I would co-sign.
Cancelo disrespected the manager once. One sec. Cancelo disrespected the manager once in a bit, mate. That's the standard. That's the standard, and that should be even if you didn't win anything. But your standard, your club, you should be getting rid of the losers that don't want to be there or disrespect you. Because guess what? That will filter down. If Rashford, imagine this: Rashford goes to Dublin. Was it Dublin or Belfast?
Yeah, Dublin.
Belfast got lit. How does that look like when it comes to these 18-year-olds that want to come and be in his position and stuff like that? Oh, if he does it, I mean, it's all right if I do it sometimes. That's the way it works with youngers, and when you're someone that's a key figure in a team. It's in any business. It's not just football. It's life. You look up to the elders, the ones that you want to be. The ones where you're younger. I used to look up to my oldest brother. Guy was a bad youth. Yeah, I won't say no more. But I used to look up to him, the hench brother that everyone respected. But guess what? That lifestyle was not for me. Because guess what? It's the wrong thing to do. Do you get what I mean? At that point when I was younger. But that filters, and you get into that because you think it's okay, and it's not. I'm just saying, innit? He's a bad influence, and I don't think he should be in and around the team and the club the way he wants to go. And that's my final word on Rashford, innit? And that's why it stays there. There's more to it than just ability.
No, the football's not about just ability. If it's about ability, then we'd be calling all these players world class. It's about your mentality. It's about the way you portray yourself. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you speak about the club, the way people speak about you. It's in life. It's in general. You carry a reputation around with you, no matter what walk of life you come through.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. Grealish wins a treble. Yeah. Grealish wins a treble. He came into Pep Guardiola was going for surgery.
Let me go with Grealish, by the way, because
no, because I'm looking at Angel's comment. Yeah, this is the difference. He comes in drunk to training at one point. Yeah, I think he had Pep Guardiola had a back pain or something like that. He had surgery or something like that. He got
He did,
found out. Tell me how many games Grealish has started since.
Yeah.
Tell me who came on the pitch against Tottenham
or Newcastle away.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Started in it as
Tell
well.
me if Jack Grealish is going to probably start against. Tell me if Jack Grealish is going to probably start against Burnley. Probably not.
No.
That's the standard. You wanna come and disrespect and disrupt the flow. This is the way it's going to have to be until you prove yourself otherwise. But the difference is, obviously, they got a key functioning thing. And right now, the whole point is, it's like, it's just not good enough in it. There's no point.
If this wasn't the final straw, I don't know what is going to be the final straw.
I don't know.
If you Man United fans cut United and say, get this guy out, I don't know what's he going to do next. Like, is he going to walk off like Ronaldo? And then people will be like, oh, he don't want to be here. Bro, he went to a nightclub and called in sick the next day. That's what people do in normal, like.
When you're a winner,
bro, you don't just, he earns 300 racks a week.
When you're a winner, the thing is, when you're a winner, it's excused because you're a winner. That's the thing. If you're young as well, you're a winner in it. And to be fair, it can probably get passed on. All you got to do is provide performances. That's all you got to do. And then
even Ronaldo did it, and people got onto him. He's Ronaldo. There
was a point in time where I think Foden wasn't really even having great performances as well this season. But the whole point is like, when you're a loser and your club needs you and you're failing, you need to look up to the players that everyone is your star boy, pretty much your star man, however you want to label it. And if you're not doing that, and you continue to do a problem, then you're a problem. So I'm not saying not everyone makes mistakes, but many mistakes. Come on, man. This is the nature of the business, football. The last thing I want to talk about before I wrap up, literally, is Aston Villa and Newcastle. Game of the day, right? Eddie Howe's job is on the line, right? And we're looking at Newcastle last season, potentially now looking at is this a blip? Is it down to injuries? It's a conversation we've had loads of times, especially on a Tuesday, weirdly enough, with us in it. But Aston Villa are going so under the radar that they are third place. I believe they are third or fourth place right now. And they beat Newcastle. They widen that gap considerably, right? I think Newcastle on 30, 31 points. Well, I think Aston Villa on 42 points. They could put that towards 40 and 15 points potentially. And then we're talking about
Newcastle on 29 points. They're loading up.
29 points, so even more. The way I'm looking at Aston Villa, they go beat Newcastle today. Yeah, they got other games to play, of course, but we're talking about Champions League football, the same kind of season. We're talking about Unai Emery being something. We're talking about them being in a different light. We're talking about their squad, but they don't actually get no light into it, right? I just feel like, if they go and do their record the way they have been at Villa Park, and they're never going to get respected, because even it was only yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think that Aston Villa were getting a little bit disrespected. Sunday, I think it was Saturday, Friday, by Jimmy saying, "What's Villa Park? It's not a fortress."
Yeah, it's a fortress. It's a bloody fortress.
Right now, Villa are building something crazy, and they got a better squad than Newcastle. They got just as good players as Newcastle. They get a bit of money into it. Who knows where they can be? It's actually an actual
Villa have got a horribly good squad. Like my issue with Villa is like the future transfers they bring in. It'll be interesting to see how they can complement what they've got. But you look at players like Luiz, Kamara, Diaby, Watkins, Bailey, McGinn. Even then, you look at like Pau. And the funny thing is, like, even players like Pau Torres, because Spurs had a look at him, and they were like, United had a look at him, and they were like, But then Villa pulled the trigger, and he looks decent. They've got a good squad of players, like solid pros, and then they've got some high level talent. And I think what Villa are showing is that in terms of all clubs now, there's such a small gap between the highest level of talent and the lower band of talent. So if you look at like Villa, look at Villa, let's say Villa, Chelsea, West Ham, and let's say Villa, Chelsea, West Ham. Because you look at Villa and they bought Diaby, and you look at West Ham and they bought Kudus. And you look at Chelsea, they bought Palmer. Yeah. So all three teams there have bought a range of high quality, in theory, right-sided wingers who are left-footed, right? And they're all good. Then you get to the next level where you start looking at the Maduekes and the Mudriks and then it's a case of the talent identification for all the teams is clear. And it's about which teams are better at identifying who's the player who's going to come in and make an impact straight away. And Villa have done really well with that. They've brought players in that haven't cost an arm and a leg, who've moved the needle for them, and they're on good contracts, it'll be hard to get some of these players out of the club. Do you know what I mean? So Villa should probably expect to at least kind of stick around the 5th to 7th, 8th mark for the next couple of years, as long as they're on point with.
So, if you put my football hat on, boosting what you're saying, is that if they're trying to be smart, they need to obviously be careful the next players they buy and try and keep hold of the players they've produced, just like West Ham, where if they want to progress and solidify themselves in these positions consistently, they need to try and keep hold of these Baileys, the Watkins, the Kulises at West Ham, etc. Because that's their only problem is, in order for them to push on, they'll need to increase the wage bill more, spend more money because they go up in the league, and that's where the issue starts because they don't have the atmosphere and the gravitas to do that yet.
And also they can't afford to soak up a bad signing. All it takes is one bad signing on 160 grand a week,
massive
6-year contract, 50-60 grand. They can't eat it.
Apparently, Aston Villa might be facing FFP breach rules.
I wouldn't be surprised. I
was actually just looking out right now as you lot were talking. I see someone, JSO, said it in the comments as well. But if they get, the thing is, if they do get Champions League football and they do win a Conference League, that instantly just goes anyways. Like any of that, I don't think they'll be in trouble. Even if they did have to sell someone, how Douglas Luiz is quoted at 100 million. Not saying he's going to go for that. You know, you're looking at someone they got for free in terms of what's his name, the other boy, Kamara. They got Kamara for free. How much does that guy cost right now? 60 million. You know, you look at Diaby right now. They got for 50. I'll guarantee they'll have to get. They'll make either way. They're making profit on every single one of their players. John McGinn at this moment of time, I don't even know how much they're going for back in the day. I guarantee he costs a fair few million at this moment of time.
40 million. 50 million now,
yeah, exactly. So the thing is that they built such a good squad, a young squad, the ones that are developing. They got the right amount of experience in there as well. And this is what's, for me, what separates them from the other lot, the Newcastle, is because they actually got a good quality squad. Like, they actually generally, when one player comes out, they've already got a good player. They got Digne and they got Moreno at left back cover. They got Konza, who's can play right back now and also centre back, and they got Matty Cash. You know, they got Pau Torres, who's a ball playing centre. Tyrone Mings, his days are over. You know, especially with that ASL, which is quite unfortunate to be fair, but he might become a useful squad player. Bit of a leader, something that they may need. They got Diogo Carlos.
Hey, you better be careful they don't overtake you, man. I'm looking at Spurs as their competition.
Yeah, right now, look, it's premature maybe because it's January, but right now it's about to hit Feb and they're still sitting where they're sitting, and they're about to probably go and win their next game or 2 or 3.
I'm looking at Spurs, no trophies, not really doing very much in the league recently. Boy, look, your position in the league is looking a bit iffy if Aston Villa stay in.
The thing is, they can definitely make profit. Like, and I think somebody will come in for one of their players, but they'll make profit. They'll go scout someone new talent, and then that's done. Like, Ollie Watkins is probably sought after. He probably costs about a good 70, 80 million. Overpriced, in my opinion, but he'll go for a pretty penny. Jacob, you know, they got Jacob Ramsey, who I rate, who I take at Man United all day long. I think that's somebody that Man United should be looking at, especially if he's out of favour. And the thing is, that's how you brew like a successful club that can actually spend and keep going. That squad alone can compete in Europa League, in my opinion. They don't even need to spend much money, in my opinion, to upgrade. Maybe here and there they might need a better squad, but their first 11 is top notch. You know, we talk about their away form, and I think they're like 7th best away form in the whole of the league. It's crazy, isn't it? So the myth of them being bad at away, which they are on the eye, let's be honest, like they're not being the greatest of late, anyways. In my opinion, the whole point is that it's right now it's sustainable, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a sick game, and I think Aston Villa right now they're just there, and we all expect them to fall off, but I don't think they're going to fall off. I don't know unless you lot disagree.
No, I think that they're horribly sustainable. As in like the way they play. When I watch them play,
rigid,
rigid, mid
block,
mid block. Horribly fast attackers.
Transitions are good. They're good at transitions.
Technically secure.
Because the thing is when you have a fast attacker who loves to run the channels, stick Diaby in there, stick Bailey in there, stick Watkins in there. Don't matter because they're going to run the channels. So it's repeatable. Like they've had players like Buendia injured all season. So when I want to be critical of them, I'm like, shit, these guys had people. Mings has been out all season. I don't rate him like that, but that's
Still
two
squad
starters.
depth. Yeah.
That's two starters that are missing all season, and they're still fourth.
It's hard, man.
I
It's
have to
hard
give
task.
Unai his props because
The thing is, the Newcastle is like they are injury ridden. You know, they are limited as well. So it's a bit it's hard at this moment of time for Newcastle to even get any footing. Like, you know, this is. I think that they'll definitely have a better season next season as well, in my opinion.
They have had quite a lot of injuries. It's not be too
Yeah.
They've had the Tonali incident. They've had a lot of injuries to their strikers and whatever. So
yeah, especially when they spent 60 million on him, it's like, oh my god, now I can't even play my 60 million. Not until
I'm not going to too hard
until the end of the year. Big up, Sean says you'll be loaning. He's talking about Rashford. You'll be loaning him out for the next 4 years, paying 60% of his wages. The contract ruined him. I wouldn't be surprised at this rate. That's something that we do. Nick says, good show, lads, but I'll take Rashford at City off the bench. If Pep had Rashford, he would be a different player. Yeah, different clubs, you know, it's different environments. It makes sense, especially when you're surrounded by people that want to be successful and win, you know. It all makes sense. But yeah, big up everyone that has tuned in. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Big up for the super chats as well. I'll be on Trafford Tunnel in about 45 minutes. It's more Man United based, but big up to Jay and big up to what's it called, Ches as well for joining in. And we'll be back tonight for a reaction where I got a hella load of Arsenal fans. So let's see how giddy they get or rattled they get. So yeah, in a bit. Appreciate you lot.